morning, sisters. Today we are going to talk about a couple of things, and I would like to start with attention. Now, I have literally been racking my brain about the best way to explain what intention is and how it applies to your magic. Let's start with the definition of attention. My favorite ones are sharply focused attention on a desired goal, a prayer or religious offering, and my favorite is the desire behind magical goals, giving a focus for your will. And this is very important. So how does this apply to witchcraft? Your intention is the need you have that you want magic to help you fulfill. Now, you may have noticed I use the word need. When it comes to performing spells, needs have much more power over the things that you want. Doing witchcraft is an act of devotion and power, okay? And when we are truly in need of something, the universe will give you more energy and access to that energy than if it was for some just trivial desire you have. Your intention needs to be concentrated so that it becomes a major driving force in your magic, okay? Your intention is like the roadmap to your spell, all right? And it adds, let's say, the fuel to the vehicle to get you going. Intent raises energy, and this is the vehicle for your magical power. You must make sure that your intention is very clear so that you don't miss your target. Intent must be focused and felt in order to achieve any degree of success in your magic. Okay, so how do you know if you have a need for something or you just want something? Now, this may seem pretty simple, but it can get a little bit complicated. Let me explain. If you want something, it's usually something that you can live without, okay? Whereas if you need something, it's probably very important and you have to have it. Now, some witches like to use divination as a way to clarify what their intentions really are, if they have a need or a want. Now, personally, I like to use tarot cards or a pendulum, and if you don't know what a pendulum is, it's a object hanging from a string or a chain that you use, and determined by the direction it swings will tell you a yes or no answer. It gets more complicated. We'll get into all that stuff later. But you can use divination as a way to figure out if what you want to do spell for is a need or a want. So, let me give you an example. Let's say you go out to the mailbox, okay, and you get a bill due now that you weren't expecting for $50. And it's a bill that has to be paid, okay? So your first thought would be, I'll do a spell to give me $50. And that wouldn't be wrong, okay? But let's stop and let's get a little deeper. Let's think about this a little bit more. What is it you need? Do you need the $50 or do you need the bill to be paid? See, you want the $50 to pay off the bill, but you need the bill to be paid. Does that make sense? So, because what you really need is the bill to be paid, you allow the universe more options to help you. See, if you do a spell for $50, the universe and its options are narrowed to just finding a way to bring you specifically $50, okay? When you get too specific, your narrowing the universe's options on how to help you. So why is this so important? Well, your intention should create an emotional reaction. This is so important, okay? Because a lot of that power driving your magic comes from the emotions that are created when you do your spell. Feelings create and carry with them lots of energy. Thus power. The more power you raise, the better results you will get. In my last class, I briefly touched on how the feelings create energy. Fear, sadness, and anger are great generators of energy, and they're often considered negative emotions and negative energy. But they can be used in a positive way. So let me explain. Let's say you get that bill in the mail, and when you open it up, you are furious. You are so mad. Damn it, I didn't need this bill this month. Where did this come from? How could I have missed this? So on and so forth. Okay, ladies, you know how it is. Think about the last time you got furious. You were just mad at someone or something. Think about that feeling of the blood rushing through your veins, and your muscles clenching, and all that energy being raised. What if you could draw on that energy and use it as a focus to help you achieve your goal? That's a lot of power. Now, let me clarify something. Happiness, joy, pride, unconditional love, compassion, even grief, those create such power in and of themselves as well. All emotion can be used for magic. What matters is the intention you have behind it. Okay? And that's how you use it. So let's get into power. Now, I've been waiting to bring up the subject of power because it's the stepping stone for everything we do. So, I briefly touched on the fact that there are 3 kinds of power we can use in our magic. Well, 3 major ones that I want to get into. The first one is earth power. What is earth power, and how do we access it and use it? Earth power is that which resides within our planet and all its natural products, according to Scott Cunningham, who, by the way, if you ever get the chance to, read all his books. They are amazing. He is such a wonderful author. I love his writing. Anyhow, this is the power of the elements. Stones, plants, fire, wind, water, herbs, incense, trees, so on and so forth. They can be used individually or together. Everything in nature contains power. Okay? Everything. And the magical properties they have are unique and specific to them and are used in spells for these properties that match your intent. So, let's say your intent is to pay that bill. So, you would use herbs for prosperity, stones that bring in positive energy, so on and so forth, okay? Witches join their personal power with earth power in order to make magic. So let's get on to personal power. Personal power is the energy your body already contains within it that keeps you alive. Let's take a deep breath. Now put your hand on your heart. Feel it beating? That's personal power, ladies. The natural functions of your body requires energy in order to keep you alive. We get this energy from the food we eat, for example, without consciously having to think about the whole process of digestion and converting food into energy in order to keep you alive. Our bodies are so amazing, it does all this without you even having to be aware of it. Our bodies are capable of producing huge amounts of energy. Huge. Oh, the amazing things people do. Especially if we are in good health. And I'll get into more about the temple, the body as a temple later. It's so awesome. Scott Cunningham explains it much better than I can. He says, this energy derives from the earth, for our bodies transform food, sunlight, fresh air, and water into available energy, thus power. Personal power is raised, okay, let's say, clench your hands right now. Clench them as hard as you can. Can you feel it? Can you feel that energy just in those muscles? You have just raised some power. And then you take that power and you focus it with your intention, your visualization. So let's say you want that power to go towards having a happy day. Oh, throwing something out. So you visualize yourself having a happy day while clenching your fists, and then you release that energy into the universe so that it can manifest in your life, and thus helping you accomplish your goal. It's very much like a runner training for a marathon. Okay, the athlete trains in order to raise the amount of energy they have available. Then, during the marathon, they release all the energy they had raised into achieving the goal of winning a race. But as a side note, I want you ladies to know, you can never release so much power that it makes you sick or kills you. Your body has a built-in security system that does not allow you to use more power than it needs to keep you alive, okay? You might, after a spell or a ritual, be kind of worn out and tired because you built up so much energy and then releasing it into the universe, but it's nothing that some food and some water and a little bit of rest won't help. And to tell you the truth, no matter how tired I am after spell work, I always feel so amazing. Oh, it's such a wonderful feeling, that power and that energy coursing through your veins, and the visualization, it's the whole process just makes me feel elated. So the third source of power is divine power, but in essence, divine power really is earth power and your personal power together. Now, this is the energy that exists within the divine. Whether you call it the creator or the goddess or whatever it is that you believe created the universe. There is no wrong or right when it comes to deity. When you perform magic, you tap into the energy of the universe. If you have a chosen deity, for instance, such as in our coven, it's Hecate, you can ask her to share her power with you to help you achieve your goals. But for now, I am just trying to focus on the fundamentals of magic, and I will be building up to deity actually pretty soon. So I'll get much more into deity at a later time. So let's have some fun. All right. Now, I want you to take your hands, ladies, and I want you to rub them as long as you can, as fast as you can. You feel that heat? That's the first thing you should feel, is the heat building up in your palms. Heat is energy. That is the science of thermodynamics. Friction equals heat equals energy. But let's get on to it. So you're rubbing. And now I want you to slowly pull your palms apart. Still feel that energy there? And if you don't feel it the first time, keep trying, because I'm telling you, eventually you will be able to start feeling energy. I like to shape mine into a wall. Okay? That's one way to go about it. Another way, and I don't have a candle right here with me right now, without hurting yourself, with caution, you can take your hand and you can feel around the flame. That heat you feel, that's energy, okay? And that energy is what we use. Now, learning to sense energy in things, differentiating between the different kinds of energy, takes a little bit of practice, but if you keep at it, it gets easier and easier, just like any new thing you're learning. So, something I want you ladies to do, okay, sisters, get some rocks. Now, it doesn't have to be gemstones or crystals. You can just pick up different rocks from your yard or wherever you can find them. And I want you to bring them inside, and I want you to set them down in front of you. Now, very important, you have one receptive hand and one projective hand. Now, if you are right-handed, your projective hand would be your right hand. Okay, this is the hand that you push power out of, okay? This is the hand that releases power. Now, your left hand is the hand that draws in power. It's your receptive hand. Now, if you're left-handed, it'll be just the opposite. Left hand would be your power hand, your right hand would be your receptive hand. But if most people are right-handed, so we'll go with this. Okay. Now, set out, let's say, 3 stones in front of you. Any kind of rock, crystal, whatever you've got. All right. Then, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to pick up the first stone. And I want you to hold it in your receptive hand with your power hand on top. I want you to close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and I want you to think about, does the stone feel hot or does the stone feel cold? Is it a fast kind of energy or a slower energy? And then I want you to do the same thing with the other 2. And I want you to try to feel the difference between the 3 different stones. Okay, because different stones have different properties, thus different kinds of energy that you can learn to sense. Okay. Some people I know, you could throw a handful of crystals right down in front of them with their eyes closed, using the receptive hand, no kidding. They can tell you what each stone is just by feeling their energy. It's amazing. I'm not that good yet, but anybody has the potential to do so. Okay. Next, I'll be going into visualization. I've decided to try to break down my classes into different parts. That way, if you want to go back over something, you don't have to rewatch the whole video. So I will be right back with our class on visualization. Love you, girls.